Okay, Talal here in the Danforth University Center. Today is Friday, December the 5th. December 5th. I'm here with Ishaq Winters, president of the Muslim Student Association here at Wustl. We're just going to go ahead and introduce him to everyone, ask a few questions about Wustl's MSA, and go from there. So, Ishaq, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ishaq Winters, senior at Washington University in St. Louis.
Speak up a little so that...
My name is Ishaq Winters, senior at Washington University in St. Louis, president of the Muslim Student Association.
Okay. So, Ishaq, what's going on with Wustl's MSA?
Wustl's MSA, it's just a fairly small MSA compared to other universities in St. Louis, but it's a pretty tight-knit community. We have about 100 individuals on the mailing list, undergraduate and graduate students. Then we have, and that's from all 4 years, and alumni also. Events with food might get out about 35 people. Without food, maybe about 20. Executive board's pretty big, 13 people. And yeah, it's growing. We're definitely trying to do a lot of big things.
Speaking of food, what's going on campus as far as like halal foods? Are halal foods available? Specifically where?
All right. So my freshman year, we brought out halal food to Washington University with the help of Bon Appetit. They've been really receptive to a lot of the food preferences of Muslims on this campus. And so we've brought halal food, or zabiha, St. Louis Halal Certified, which is a company in St. Louis that certifies all the halal food restaurants and groceries and meat markets, etc. in St. Louis. So there's STL Halal Certified in the Bears Den, which is located on the South 40 housing area of campus. And so, but there isn't halal food in the village, north side residential area, and the other food spots on campus. There may be pre-packed options, but based off the numbers of Muslims on campus, it may not be feasible to expand outside of the Bears Den. We're still discussing that with Bon Appetit.
So, does that mean? What does that mean exactly? Is it a small Muslim community here at Wustl, or?
It's a fairly small Muslim community. My class brought a large number of Muslims proportional to previous classes or compared to other classes. We had maybe 6-7 brothers and maybe the same amount of sisters that came out.
I see.
But the year after us, we only have one Muslim brother, 1 or 2 Muslim brothers, and maybe 2 Muslim sisters. So it varies, and that's one of the things that we're trying to do. We're trying to push for a greater representation of Muslims on this campus through admissions and things like that.
Ishaq, what are your thoughts on young Muslims and secularization, if I said that word right, or if that is even a word, of Islamic culture and the difference between a lot of young Muslims adhering to their Islamic culture in contrast to their parents who probably were a little more observant. Is that a thing, or?
I think that being in college is an age of definitely an age of growth all around. I know that I became more close to Islam coming to college because I made sure to engross myself within the Muslim community, and so that has been a significant factor. But college all around is a time for growth, a time for exploring yourself, a time for you go in one way, you come out a little more mature, usually, for most people, you know? And so in regards to Islam, Ultimately, I think it depends a lot on who you surround yourself with. Um, there are Muslims that I know that are some of the most observant college students I know. Some of the most observant Muslims in general I know. That practice a lot, that seek knowledge, that pray 5 times a day, more, everything. And then there are Muslims that I know that are struggling with the 5 prayers. You know, they may pray 3 here, they may pray 2 there. You know, but overall, it's not. I think that's a trend worldwide. We're in a society, or nationwide. We're in a society that it's not necessary. It doesn't have the most Islamic friendly things, such as the hypersexuality of a lot of things. There's the entire Islamophobia issue, of course, and so it's not necessarily an environment that completely fits with a lot of the practices of Islam. But I think there's still, and that doesn't mean that Muslims can't be in the society. Of course they can, or Islam doesn't mix in the society, like the Sharia law debate and all that stuff. That's not true at all. It's just it may be a little harder.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, we had a tech difficulty, and we decided to move to a conference room, a little more quiet, a little more intimate. Assalamu alaikum once again. So we left off talking about secularism and Muslim youth, and how observant they can or can't be here in this and being in such a secular society. As far as Islamophobia is concerned, here at Wustl, is that a thing? Is this an environment conducive for a Muslim community to actually practice Islam in peace? What?
Okay, definitely. I definitely think Washington University is a wonderful environment for Muslims on campus. They have been receptive to most, if not all, of the wants and needs that we believe that we need as Muslim students on this campus. In the sense that we have a prayer room on campus, we've gotten halal food. And I pray outside. That's one of the things I like to do. I pray outside at one tree.
Mudfield?
No, actually, it's across the women's building.
Okay.
And so and there's been a huge. They've been largely supportive of just like having the advisors and counselors. I can go to plenty of people and speak about Islam, and they're not Muslim,
right,
on campus. And so I think it's been great. It's been a wonderful administration, wonderful faculty, very supportive in everything that we do, and I think that's largely representative of all diversity on this campus, with the big push for like the Mosaic Project, etc. With recent events of the Halloween photo incident, there was some concern with some of the student body, largely not of the photo. We didn't want to focus on the photo. The Halloween incident displayed some students dressed as SEAL Team 6 for Halloween, and posted a photo on Facebook that spread around the campus. But we largely didn't want to focus on the photo, but the thing that we thought warranted a bit more response was the comments that followed it, where it did display some prejudice and some discourse on what students thought about Islam. And so, but I don't think that it's representative of the entire student body. There are going to be people that have their opinions, and that's why we held the MSA forum to really address the photo, address the incident that occurred afterwards, and address what we felt as Muslims on this campus.
I see. Where on campus can Muslim students, faculty, come for Juma prayer? I hear that there is a masala here
Yep.
on campus.
So in Lapata House, not Lapata Hall. Lapata Hall is the engineering school, or the building largely used by engineering department. Lapata House is on the north side, near the village dining area. It's the residential area. It's the building right on the corner of Big Bend and Forest Park. That's the area that has the Juma prayer room. And to get there, you enter into Lapata House, and it's downstairs, the Muslim prayer room. And so we've had that for many generations at MSA. It's been farther back than seniors that I knew as a freshman. It was already there when they were freshmen. And so it's
So we're talking about a decade or more.
yeah.
Right.
In the past, the MSA was pretty strong at WashU. It kind of dwindled, but hopefully we're trying to bring it back to that
Rejuvenate it.
status. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Speaking of which,
We also have a prayer room in the AMC suite in the women's building. That's more of a central location that's shared between 4 groups, and so it's a little less private, solely for prayers.
here on this campus and in other places similar to it, you see a lot of people who are black in color, yet honestly, frankly, white in culture. Same thing goes with Asians, with a lot of other immigrants from other different places. It seems as if to be accepted, or maybe that's a misconception that people have, that they feel that to be accepted into a community such as this one, that they have to shed their true identities and become closer in image and in culture to the status quo. Does that make any
I
sense?
think I understand a bit of what you're saying. So first, I think one, we have to recognize a lot of the intersectionalities between identities. I'm a black Muslim from a low socioeconomic status, and so that's one of the things that I have to look at in how coming to WashU, where it's a environment of a large white, of a large Jewish, of a large higher socioeconomic status, how that frames into me being here versus me being at home, and etc. So I see a bit of what you're speaking about, but also we have to question what is black culture. What does it mean to have white culture? What do we think about that? So when you say African American students on this campus having a large white culture, I'm not exactly sure what you mean. If you're saying African American students may not have a large amount of black history knowledge, but what do we mean as culture? Is it the way we speak? Is it the way we dress? Is it the way we act?
All of the above.
So I think we have to look at this is an institution that is of higher education. And I'm not exactly sure if I could say that African American students are displaying white culture.
And it's not just about just African American students.
Oh yeah, in general.
Right.
That's just the example that you're
Right.
saying, that you stated. So like even like I think that that there isn't like a defined line in this. Yes, college. Like I said before, college is a way of that you definitely change. That you grow as an individual. You learn more about yourself. You lose past habits. You develop new habits, etc. And WashU does have this certain mantra. And I think other institutions
all throughout the nation have a certain mantra that is engrossed on a baseline.
A tone that's set.
Yeah, a kind of tone that's set for their students, and so that may affect how you were, what you may your persona in the past versus now. But I don't think that it's negative in a sense. There are aspects. It ultimately depends on the individual. I think that being a Black Muslim student on this campus that comes from a low socioeconomic background, I think it's only allowed me to, being at WashU has exposed me to a variety of different people, not just the norm or the status quo. I've met people from a variety of backgrounds, and I think that the way I think, the way I act has been shaped, but in a mature manner. That's not necessarily adjusted to the status quo. I could see something, for example, I'm in a civil rights class right now, and it allows me, one of the things I've got out of it has been such a good class that every day I could see something that relates to that course, in me being an African American individual, or identifying as a Black individual. But then there's also the things that I see, going back home that WashU has taught me, and that shows how different and diverse and how supportive and the WashU environment is. And so I don't think people are being molded into a status quo here. I think are molded to a status quo. I think that the environment is definitely diverse. You have your niches, but I think that overall people are developing as individuals in their own manners. And so that's the way I see in that regard.
I see. On a lighter note, I hear you do a little bit of rapping. I hear you.
Who told you that?
Well, I do research. Is that fact? Is that false? That's not true.
I can't rap at all.
Okay.
You probably heard about the summer cipher.
Yeah. I was gonna see if we can get a little mic check going here.
No.
Okay.
That was all a joke. The summer cipher, I just did a comedic piece.
Right.
And so, but no, I don't do a rapper. But they do have some good rappers on the campus.
Something tells me you can spit. I just caught you off guard here. Anyway.
Yeah. I might say a little something here and there, but it's not nothing serious.
Contact information for Muslim Student Association. How can people reach out, get involved, reach out to you, all that good stuff?
So MSA, you can go to msa.wustl at gmail or msa at su.wustl.edu. So MSA at su period Wustl WUSTL.edu. We have a Facebook page, Wustl MSA, if you want to reach out to us there. Those are the main contacts. So.
It's hot. Jazakallah khaira for sitting down with me out.
Nice.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah.
Wabarakatuh.
So here we are, Danforth University Center. Just spoke with the president of the Muslim Student Association here at Wustl. That's about it. Check me out. Google Talal Ahmad in St. Louis.